and chant again. We want a vote. 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 Now the representative who's standing up and talking in there right now is said in committee that it's his God-given right to carry a gun. And what I say is that it is the God-given right of our children to grow up. So make sure you hear your voices. Next, we're proud, we're very grateful to be joined by someone who can speak to her right to grow up because she's still a student, she's still a child. Tess, thank you for being with us today.
Hello, thank you all for being here today. My name is Tess Macklek and I'm a senior at St. Louis Park High School. Earlier this year, in the wake of the Annunciation student, a classmate and I were able to write a story on the topic of school safety for our school's newspaper. We interviewed students, teachers, and administration alike, and we tried our best to encapsulate the feelings of our school after this tragic event. It is hard to address a topic like gun violence. Some students knew members of the families who were involved in Annunciation. Many students felt anxiety about gun violence. The more students and teachers we talked to, the more prevalent a version of the same question became. Are we next? Are my siblings next? Are my friends next? I did an interview with a sophomore that, because I too have brothers, kept me awake that night. What if it happened at my little brother's elementary school, she had asked. I drop him off every morning. What if something happened to him? These are difficult questions to ponder and most certainly a distraction from learning. The more I learned about our school's procedures in the event of a shooting, the more questions I had popping into my mind. What would I do? Could I protect my friends? Could someone protect me? Through the interviews with administration and teachers, I learned we have prevention procedures. This was somewhat reassuring, but I still keep asking myself, why do we need procedures? The protection of students is essential and a priority in the schools, but why do we still allow semi-automatic weapons like the ones used in the Annunciation shooting? That's right. A couple of months after Annunciation, there was a shooting at Brown University in one of the engineering buildings where one of my best friends is currently studying to be an engineer. I remember that night in December when I should have been studying for finals, waiting anxiously by my phone until she texted me telling me that she was safe and unharmed. For 2 hours, I sat on my bed watching the press conference and the updates roll by, praying that her name would not be announced. What would I do if it was? Who would I call? My family? My friends who were away at college? Certainly in the same predicament I was in. Students should not have to go to school in fear. Students should not hear a hold-in-place announcement over the loudspeakers and immediately feel the worst. Students should not have to worry about their friends and families will be victims of gun violence. School shootings should not be so common that it is within the realm of possibility that my school could be next. I don't have the answer to the questions I posed today, but I do know that we must do everything we can to prevent another shooting. Thoughts and prayers are not enough, and there is no substitute for action.
That's right.
Us pass this bill to ban semi-automatic weapons and high-capacity magazines. We must keep our schools and our community safe to ensure that every student feels safe coming to school and is able to focus on learning without being distracted by thoughts of their loved ones getting hurt. Thank you.
For our kids! For our kids! For our kids! For our
conversation that we're having, the conversation, I guess I should say. But I want to thank you all for being here. I want you all to know that they need to hear from you the way they have every day going forward through the election. I know that this is a House official vote, but we need to continue to apply the pressure if we're going to get this done so that we bring back a pro-peace majority, a pro-child majority.
Yes.
I talked about the way gun violence has affected my life closest, right? Which is not school shootings. It is intimate partner violence, domestic violence. And the capacity we have in this country right now to embrace violence is an answer to our problems. It is the same impulse that leads people to go to guns and take the lives of others, no matter who the victim is. If it's our children in schools, or intimate partners, or hate crimes against those of us who are vulnerable in the world. And I just want you to know that everybody who has been affected by this violence is with you. We are with you. We're going to continue to be with you here in the chamber. The DFL is with you. And we are going to get to a point where everybody sees and we pass these bills and we do what we can to protect all of Minnesota. Thank you so much.
Alone. We are here for all of the communities in Minnesota who are hurt by gun violence year after year after year. We are here for our vulnerable neighbors. We are here for our neighbors experiencing grief, experiencing suicidality, experiencing mental illness, experiencing domestic violence. They are here with us today too. And I would like to bring up now a partner at the legislature, someone who works so hard with so many marginalized members of our community who are at elevated risk for experiencing gun violence. Kat from Minnesota, please join us.
Hey everybody, my name is Kat and I'm the Executive Director of Outfront Minnesota, our state's largest LGBTQ advocacy organization. We are also coalition members of Violence Free Minnesota, which addresses domestic violence and intimate partner violence here in the state of Minnesota. And I don't have to tell anybody here about the impacts of gun violence on any communities, but for the LGBTQ community, it's deeply personal. We have experienced so many horrible instances of gun violence targeting our communities, from the Pulse nightclub shooting to Club Q to violence against LGBTQ people across this country for who we are. But what is not unique about that is that every American is impacted by gun violence. 62% of the people that we lost to domestic violence were victims of gun violence here in the state of Minnesota. There is nothing unique about that, but there is something we can do about that. And that's passing common sense gun legislation like we have here today. LGBTQ communities are standing with every other Minnesotan because we know that our communities are safer, that all of our communities are safer when these weapons are not on the streets harming us. And we know that Minnesota can take hard votes and move hard issues and take stands where other places have not. And this is an opportunity to do that. Whether or not it moves forward, we have taken a huge step forward this year in pushing to where we are, and what we are doing today matters for where we are going to get to. This will become law. Whether it is today, tomorrow, a year from today, it will become law. They can push this back, but the only thing they are pushing back back against is the safety of our communities. Let's keep standing together. Let's move this forward. Let's keep standing with the folks who are going to hold the line tonight to try and get this vote. Thank you.
And I hope what you hear today in the stories that my colleagues, my DFL colleagues, are sharing from people around the state, from their own personal lives, from their districts, from districts like mine, where Annunciation happened 260 days ago. What you are hearing is an urgency to take action to end gun violence. Because you are here and have a sign that says hold the freaking vote. And we have, this session, have worked hard, used all the power we have. Where we have it, we have brought the bill to committee. We have brought bills to the floor before. We have brought a Senate file. The Senate DFL sent over a bill that is the best, most comprehensive gun violence package we have seen in decades, and it is sitting in the Speaker's desk. Now, what we know is that what is happening in that chamber is that we are listening to the voices of Minnesota. And that is ultimately, at the end of the day, I'm a voting rights lawyer, and what I believe is we are due our best policy. We are a stronger democracy when it is the people who decide. And what we know is that 70% of Minnesotans want us to ban these assault weapons. 70 or more percent of Minnesotans want us to take comprehensive action that includes intervention, prevention, and harm reduction.
That's right.
And so I'm going to have to go get back on that floor. We are going to be here for as long as it takes to tell the stories of urgency that people have been sharing with us month after month. People have been sharing it for years. And here's one thing I know. And I know for our advocates who've been doing this this for years. It took us a long time to get universal background checks and red flag laws. And I know and I hear every day the demands of kids to act now and act urgently to ban these weapons of war and to take action. And that is what we are trying to do, but we are not going to stop until we get this done.
Thank you.
Who are listening to the public, are listening to our communities, and most importantly, listening to our kids who are saying, choose us, not the guns. And, you know, this debate, hours of debate on the floor, is not, in the scheme of things, that hard for us. What is hard for our kids is that the way that we have chosen to respond to gun violence is making them do active shooter drills. What is hard to accept is that decade after decade, this problem gets worse, not better. And so we will be here for as long as it takes. We will see members sitting in and saying, it is time for an up or down vote, because what people cannot do is hide from this vote. And we are fighting to ensure that the people of Minnesota get the gun violence prevention that they deserve and that they have asked for.
Extreme risk protection orders, universal background checks, was Representative Dave Pinto, who joins us now. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you. I've seen so many of you here for years. We've worked together. I was the author of the bill for criminal background checks, and that bill is now law. The bill for red flag orders, and that got handed off with a series of us, and that bill is now law. So we know that we can do this, and we know that when we look back to those past debates, the same thing happened. The same BS on the floor, right? They bring up every objection you possibly can bring up. All these things are extreme, and yet at the same time, somehow they won't work. Oh, no. It's unconstitutional, but they're also in use in other states around the country where they are keeping people safe. Yeah. This is how it works, right? So what we need to do is continue to demand, and that's why you're here, that it's time to stop hiding the ball, stop hiding the bill. We are demanding a vote now, right? On the other side about why we cannot take the steps that other countries around the world have to keep themselves safe. You're going to hear about mental health. You know what? Other countries around the world have struggled with mental health too. Yes, they do. There's social media in those other countries. There's young people in the other countries, and there is evil all around the world as well. I hear my Republican colleagues saying that too. The difference in America is the guns. And it is long past time that we take steps to take action to enforce our laws and make sure that we get guns out of the hands of people who show themselves to be dangerous, and to get weapons of war off of our streets. You with me? Yeah. So keep on pushing.
used it to make sure that other people don't experience those painful things. I cannot thank you enough for converting that energy into that action. And it's time now that we demand that all of our lawmakers do the same thing. We're going to keep on pushing the rest of today and tomorrow and right through the end of session to demand a vote on the bill and demand that we take action against gun violence. Thank you so much. Please keep it up.
We are really lucky to be joined next by the author of this package that somehow miraculously made it through the Senate and is now being debated on the House floor. And that didn't happen because it's easy. It didn't happen just because it's the right thing. It happened because this woman went to work the day after children were killed in her district by weapons of war, and she didn't stop until she had something that would make it over the finish line. We are so lucky to be joined now by Senator Zainab Mohammed.
It is great to see all of you. I'm Zainab Mohammed. I am from South Minneapolis, and it is wonderful to see many of my neighbors wearing the shirt Hope. When Annunciation happened, I thought a lot about what the word hope meant. How do you stay hopeful while you don't have your child to go back home to? How do you stay hopeful while lawmakers don't want to do jack crap about this stuff? How do you stay hopeful when violence continues to happen in your communities and you don't have people who have the courage to step up and do something? And so first of all, thank you for being here and advocating for this important issue. We passed it in the Senate a week and a half ago. And I think a lot about the community at Annunciation. There have been so many families that have been impacted by gun violence. And they're joining generations of people who have been. And I think a lot about Harper and Fletcher and their parents who have just been so strong in these moments and have stood up and showed up. And I'm grateful for them because grief is not linear and it's waves. And I'm sure moments like this, it shows up for them in different ways. I'm sure it shows up for them differently during the first day of school or the last day of school or on their birthdays or it was just Mother's Day. But, you know, it's in this place, it's easy to get stuck in the politics and think about just the policy and how do you get the votes. But I think a lot about Jackie and the fact that she doesn't have her child at home, or Mike, or Jesse. That's hard. And I can't understand what Lisa Demuth is doing. I don't know if you understand what she's doing. No. Because for us, for me, I worked really hard to get 34 votes on the bill. And we asked our members who are in tough seats to vote for this issue. And they voted for it because it's the right thing to do fundamentally. Yeah. It is morally the right thing to do. And Lisa has a choice. If she wants to vote no, she can vote no. But she should have the courage to take a position.
Here, here.
I hope you all don't lose your faith in this place, because what makes this place hopeful is all of you showing up every day, telling your stories. I'm sure you all have worked this fight. It is a hard one, but it is the right thing to do, and I'm grateful to them and to all of you for continuously showing up. And if we don't get it done this year, we will have a lot of new members who are ready to take
And let's remember one more time who we're doing it for.
Speaker Demuth to do not only what her job is, but the word that she gave to the parents of those children. We're asking her to do one simple thing that I learned to do from my parents when I was a little kid, which is to keep your word. So let's say right now, we're going to do a chant. We're going to call her out directly. We're going to say, Speaker Demuth, keep your word. You ready? Speaker Demuth, keep your word. 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 Okay, we have one more speaker. We're going to chant, and then I'm going to send all of you home. But please remember that our legislators are not going home tonight. Our champions are going to be sitting on that floor all night. If you want to come in with them and give them a few words of gratitude, please come find me afterwards. We're going to be assigning 10-minute shifts all night. I'll probably be at about 4 a.m. to just pop in and say, hey, thank you for what you're doing. We're with you. Minnesota appreciates you. So come find me after. I'll get you signed up for a shift. That said, I'm going to introduce our last speaker. This is Senator Bonnie Westland, who ran not once, not twice, but 3 times on the platform of gun violence prevention before she got elected, because she understood the most important thing is standing up and telling the truth for our kids and our communities. Thank you, Senator.
My name is Bonnie Westland. I'm a state senator. I represent Plymouth, Maple Grove, and Medicine Lake. My best friend died by suicide in 1991 from a gun that he should never have had in his possession. We have said goodbye to too many innocent lives. Columbine should have been enough. Sandy Hook should have been enough. Las Vegas should have been enough. Uvalde should have been enough. Parkland should have been enough. When will it be enough? And what we have discovered is my friends on the other side of the aisle who worship at the altar of the Second Amendment, there is no limit to the number of bodies they are willing to sacrifice. Shame! We want them to take a vote. If they think this is a bad bill, then stand up and vote no. But if you think this is the right thing to do, then have the courage to vote yes. I want to thank all of you for showing up over and over and over again, year after year after year. And we're not done. Because if we don't get this done this year, we will be back. We will be back tomorrow and the next day and the next week and the next year. And by God, there's an election this year. And if these people will not take the vote that we need them to take, then we will get people in seats who will do the right thing. Stay strong, have courage, and know there are so many people here who are in this fight with you. And it has not passed notice for me today. Today is May 14th. We are 11 months since the worst act of political violence in this state. A guy who had 50 firearms. A guy who murdered my friend and colleague, Lisa Hortman, and her husband and their dog, and who attempted to kill my colleague and friend, John Hoffman, and his wife, Yvette, and their daughter, Hope. And it wasn't long after that that we had the terror and the horror at Annunciation. We have had enough. Leader Demuth promised a vote. She promised a vote. By God, she should give us a vote, right?